Okay, we have a treat for you this week, or maybe not a treat. It's sort of totally humiliating to us, but we're going to play one of our first episodes. It goes really well into what we're going to be talking about over like the next month, and that's Satanic Panic. And we have great shows coming up for you, so we want to play you a hilarious early show of ours. And we've matured. We've grown up. It's hilarious. When we first started out, we were shocked that there were 200,000 podcasts in existence, even if people just did, one or two episodes and didn't do anything after that. How many do you think there are now? If you said 5.2 million, you're absolutely correct. So if you're spending any time listening to us, my God, my Zeus, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this one on backmasking, and it'll get you all prepped up to go. I can't wait to hear about what's been going on in Satanic Panic and QAnon and back in Middle Ages history, because we go back that far over the next few episodes with better audio. So enjoy.
Hi, this is Karen. And I noticed while editing, we forgot to tell you in this episode what deconversion therapy is actually about. So a quick note. Bonnie and I have known each other since we were 1 year old. I'm a little more mature than she is because my birthday is 3 weeks ahead of hers. However, we both grew up in the Southern Baptist Church and got saved. I went on to become a missionary overseas after college, while she sort of earlier than I did, started in with critical thinking, and therefore she left Christianity before I did. However, we come at it from two different angles, and this podcast is just entertainment and fun. We offer nothing with scholarly evidence. There's no religious debate, and Christians, people who've never been to church, and people who have just left religion, I think can all relate to the podcast. So that's my intro to our intro.
Buena suerte.
And buenas noches. And Nacho Supremo. This is Karen.
And this is Bonnie, and welcome to Deconversion Therapy.
This is the time of the episode where it hasn't even started yet. And I beg you to please subscribe, download, tell your friends, have your dog rate it, write reviews. You English majors are out there working at Starbucks. You could really write a fabulous review for us.
That's a good job.
Oh, I know, because they give great benefits and they really stick behind their
And there's
employees.
low turnover.
I know, they're very happy. Okay, so please do that.
And find us on,
let's see, you've got your Insta, you've got your Twitter. Those places, I like Insta the best because we seem to be getting the most response on there. Twitter is just a little daunting to me right now, but if you follow me on there, I might get a little more active or something. I just need a little boost on there. And then we're available on tons of podcatchers. Stitcher.
I don't think that's a real word.
Tune in. The podcatcher still?
Yep.
We are available on, what would they be?
Well, it sounds like those things that you hang in the window and it's like dream catchers.
That is one. And so this picture this as Stitcher is a little thing in your window that all the podcasts come through and it catches it.
I'm going to hang this in my window and catch some pods.
There you go. Make sure to catch ours. But yeah, you can find us on all those mediums.
Media.
No, almost.
Media.
Oh, close enough. Yeah. All right. That's it. All those things that we wish we would have got stock in.
And we have a website. Did we do that?
No, we don't. Yes, we do. It's called Deconversion Therapy Podcasts.com. And the website is at this point about as good as that little singing there. And but we are going to start a blog soon. And just yeah, by the way, Bonnie, I forgot to tell you. No, those will just be like for at least my thoughts that I have throughout the day. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's what's going to go in the blog part.
Okay.
But we're going to have show notes up there with our podcasts and links.
Yeah.
Especially for people looking for community. They'll be able to, if they heard something in our show and they're wondering about it or a book, we're going to put it right there for you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Books. So we wanted to start out with the thing that we thought was good or to be grateful for this week.
Yes.
Do you want to do yours? Because I can't remember what mine was.
Well, then I guess I think the more thankful person should go first. The person who is appreciative.
Go first.
Okay. All right. So mine is that we have gotten such an amazing response on Reddit. So I knew Reddit was good for people who like to solve murders. That's all I have to think about with Reddit. It's like people who are taking a break from the dark web go to Reddit. And they're like, I don't feel like, looking up all the things I was just looking at. Let me have a little palate cleanser here on Reddit. But one, I am in the John Benet Ramsey little subgroup, but I've also joined some others. So for people looking for a bit of support, there is one called Ex-Christian Women. There's the atheism one that's huge. There's agnostic. There's just plain ex-Christian. There's ex-Christian memes for a bit of a laugh at your neighbor who's going to church.
Wait, I'm plain ex-Christian. Okay.
We'll look up average.
Wait, I'm plain. Okay.
But you've got, plenty of places. And so I posted about our podcast, and I think ex-Christian one and maybe one other, tons of responses.
That's so nice.
And they're so nice. They really are. They are saying, I'm just going to read some. Love your stuff. This podcast is great. Just subscribed. Some have sort of told a bit of their own stories, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But wait, I still have the knee-jerk reaction of like the girl in church who's like, "Oh no, I can't accept anything that makes me feel prideful." So,
I know.
Like you should see me physically recoiling, like, "Oh my God, they said something nice."
I know. I used to feel like that a bit more, and I'm trying to get good at that. And I think that's one thing when you leave Christianity, because we used to give God all the glory and all that. And I'm trying to start going like, no, I did this. With some things that I do that I work my ass off for, I'm trying not to be like, I'm trying to be like, you're right. No, I'm trying to be more.
But just saying thank you.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
And you know what's funny is my mom, even to this day, will say something like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you for such and such." And then she knows that I used to say, "Mom, it's bad to be prideful." So even now she'll go, "Well, not proud, but." Great. So I beat my mom into don't be proud.
That's great. Unlove me. Yeah. Well, I had a friend take me out to lunch once, and I get if someone tries to pay for me, that's not good. If someone compliments, if someone tries to
Well,
I forgot which podcast I'm on. No, if someone tries to pay for my lunch,
that's insane.
And I know. See, you're in business, so I would have people. If people don't need anything from me and they're paying for me, I used to feel bad about it. And I would be like, oh no. And so I told this one lady, no, I feel bad. And she said, yeah, that's why I'm paying for this, Karen. I want you to make you feel bad. And it hit me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to say thank you. Same when people say, oh, I love your shirt. Right. I need to stop saying, I got it for $7. I just need to say thank you.
Okay, one day you have to tell the story about getting the bra, but next.
There's no story, anyone. Don't scour our show notes for the bra story in the future. You'll not hear it.
That was my favorite thing. Okay.
I know. Oh, God. Okay.
Wait, did I say my favorite thing of the week? The good thing? The thing I'm grateful for?
You need to say it on Reddit for me to hear it because, yeah.
Because I only read. So at the very end of Jimmy Fallon this week, right when it was bleeding into Seth Meyers, I was watching Seth Meyers and I heard 3 or 4 notes of a song that was the end of Jimmy. And I was like, what is that? And so I went and watched Jimmy Fallon. And this song is old and it's by this little group called Love Jones. And the song is called The Ohio River or Ohio River. And I am so excited because I have this new, awesome, happy song to put in my brain.
Is it like, how old is it? I mean, is it like,
you do that. Thanks a lot.
No. Is it like, oh, I remember that from childhood?
No, I've never heard it before, but it's one of those songs where you feel like, wait, I know all the parts of this song, but I've never heard it before.
Which, you know what that means?
Satan.
Trademark lawsuit. Because you've obviously written it in your mind and then they copied it.
Well, that's what I feel. I feel like I've written it in the shower some days.
What if there is a camera in your shower?
There could be. They're going to get what they paid for.
I told you, I used to be paranoid because Jesus is everywhere. So I would take a shower and remember that and like turn away. Yeah, yep. I know.
You told me that. But this, okay. So
I'll listen. What's it called?
This song is
Ohio
River. Look, I'm Googling it right now or Wikipediaing it, whatever. I don't know. But it was from like the mid 90s when I was living in Los Angeles and all those kind of bands were popular. And then John Bryan, who produced a lot of albums that I love, Rufus Wainwright.
I love him.
Yeah, he has to do with this band. So I'm like, oh my God, how much of this is John Bryan? Where can I pick out the John Bryan pieces? I don't know. Anyway, so I was just excited because I found new music that is, I don't know, 20 years old, but new to me.
Well, that's why you can't find it. You're going to have to ask Jeeves. Ask Jeeves to get that.
I tried to Google the lyrics and like, nope.
Weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
So anyway.
But that's nice. Like there's something, I mean, music is...
it's a big mood shifter.
It is. It's a shifter, all right.
That's my thing.
Okay, so I am going to read our letter of the week. I tried reading this to Bonnie. Why don't you say it? Let me take another swig of my $5 champagne, and you say about me trying to read this to you.
When she tried to read it to me, I just got tickled so much. And you did too. And I was like, please don't finish, because let's do it fresh and quote unquote on air. Hi.
Hey, Bonnie.
Hi,
so
Karen.
This is our fake commercial, because we don't have any sponsors yet, but we do have people we want to shout out. And have you ever heard of Godless Mom? And don't say me.
No, I mean, I'm assuming that's a handle that somebody uses.
Yes. It's her CB handle when she's like, Breaker 19. No, I'm joking. It's her Twitter handle. And you can go to godlessmom.com. So, yeah, just another resource for people who are looking for different advice or communities. Godless Mom does a really good job at dispensing information about like all the scandals going on with everyone having sex with all the people in their church, or she makes these crazy funny memes. So
it's not parenting specific,
but then it also has that.
Okay, cool.
If you actually follow her on Twitter, you get all the fun stuff, the sarcastic stuff. She will take down someone that comes at her with a Christian point of view. And you can just sit there with popcorn. But on her website, you can find... Yeah.
Yep.
So she does like videos, and she answers letters like, how do I help my teen cope with depression? Or, what do I do? Do we tell my ex-husband that our kid is now atheist? Like all these little tricky things that people who have left religion would come up with, but also gives a lot of good solid advice. So I just wanted to give her a little shout out. So
I like this. There's a column, Things the Godly Say.
I know. It's you got to go look at all of it. It's hilarious. And her name's Courtney Hurd, and she's just so funny. And again, follow her on Twitter, and it'll connect you to anything else you want. But just a resource we wanted to say during this first ever fake commercial.
Cool.
Okay, so this is from Andrew. He's like, here's my story. I grew up in Spring, Texas. No, that's not the funniest part.
It is Houston. To me, because my mom grew up in Big Spring.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it says outside of Houston, and that is sort of funny. I went sporadically to a Methodist church until I got, quote, saved at a Baptist church camp. That's right, because we demanded those numbers. Walk up that aisle. A few weeks after getting saved and going to church, I attended a bonfire revival at the church around Halloween time. It was one of the first events that I attended that wasn't specifically a church service or youth event. As in, I got to see how real Southern Baptists behaved when not on Sunday behavior.
Not a lot different.
So besides having a white guy, in parentheses, adult, explain to me how evolution didn't work and when it was okay to use the N-word, parentheses, in the same conversation, the highlight of the evening was an enormous bonfire. Here we got to renounce the devil by throwing rubber balls with Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, generic ghosts, They couldn't get a cast for one, I guess. And of course, the devil himself's face on them into the fire.
So they just threw rubber balls into the fire.
And I want to know, like, is there, the catalog that they order all their choir robes from and the church, pew things?
You know the Uline catalog?
No.
It's for businesses, so it's got like boxes, envelopes.
Ooh, exciting.
I know.
Actually, that would be heaven for me.
Wait, but this guy's got to be so much younger than we are, because who sells balls with that on there?
I know.
Cheap enough to warrant throwing into a fire.
You know how young he is? He is someone named Andrew that actually went by the name Andrew. That's how young he is. Because all ours would have gone by Andy. Okay. The intended effect occurred. I thought that God was pretty fucking awesome. The night ended when an, in parentheses, unsaved, I'm sure, kid, here I go, threw a couple of cans of off bug spray into the inferno, and they exploded like grenades.
So stupid.
I know. But okay,
I know exactly which of our friends would have done that.
Nobody got hurt. That was pretty awesome by my junior high school standards. Okay. Okay, because I'm visual, I can see this, but I can also see the kid who did this and the planning. Because one, he either had to go through his mom's or his dad's garage thing and get out. Yeah, because it's not like he could drive himself to go get it. But this was a planned, oh God. Obviously the devil was speaking to him.
I just want to convene later and compare notes to see if you think it would be the same kid that I do from our youth group who did that.
Yes, because if it's the one you're talking about, he was arrested. He could still be in jail for various and sundry items. But, oh God. So thank you, Andrew. And, please let us know when it's okay to use the N word, because at this point, we have 0 and it's in our mind, but oh my gosh. So, all
right. Well,
that reminded me though of in our day, the bonfires were so that we could throw not balls into it and not blow up with grenades of fuming poison, but to slowly poison ourselves by throwing in cassette tapes of music that wasn't Christian. We were all told to meet outside of our church, and I'm sure it was on a weekend. They set a bonfire, and I think it happened more than once. And you were supposed to bring your non-Christian music and throw it into the bonfire. So, yeah.
So what did you throw into the bonfire?
I only remember it just a little bit. So I don't even know if I went with my brother or if I ever threw anything in, but I do remember my non-Christian music was, did you hear my dog?
Yeah.
Bye. My husband just stole him.
He's a good boy.
He is such a good boy. But my
what was the most evil music you would have had?
I got it. So I had a UNICEF record, and UNICEF Why is that funny? Why is that funny? So
it's going to be a compilation.
It was a compilation, and I would only play Olivia Newton-John's I Honestly Love You. And unfortunately, I would have to either hear the back end or the beginning, I can't remember, of Rod Stewart's If You Think I'm Sexy. And that destroyed me as being so evil that I would jump up from my bed and sprint to take the little needle off the record.
Right.
And I'm sure it was all scratched up. And I couldn't even look at his picture on the back of it. So to me, that was probably... yeah, that was it for me. I was living my life.
Let me tell you, from what I can remember, he doesn't like that song either because he didn't like being pressured into recording something that was quote unquote disco.
Oh, I thought you were going to say sexy.
No, I think that he might have been right on with you. Like, oh, I don't like to hear the beginning of that song either.
I don't like this song that made me a household name and is the only reason most of people like me. I don't like it.
That is not what made him a household name, but that's okay. So,
what was it?
Like Maggie May.
Oh, I guess, but that was boring and weird. But
anyway. My God. Okay.
I was singing Maggie. Okay. Yeah, that was mine.
So what were they doing? Saying, get rid of your secular stuff? Or when did they talk about backmasking?
Okay, so that was about the same time. There was this lots of different people that we would watch either little videos about, but when it was found out, and I put that in quotes, that some of the songs, if you played them backwards, said Satan is God, then that went around the churches like wildfire, and it really definitely got the attention of youth groups because that's all the impressionable people, and that's the ones that are listening to this new rock and roll and all that. And I remember going into youth group one time and standing around. Someone brought a cassette by one of these pastors who was talking nationally about it. And he put it in and hit the little play button on the recorder, and we listened to it. And it was so creepy because anytime you listen to any record backwards, it can be Amy Grant backwards. It sounds horrifying. And you can make it sound pretty much like anything. Not that bands haven't tried to do it on purpose for noise, but yeah.
One of the funniest guys in our youth group, and you're going to know who this is, and I couldn't remember earlier today, but he used to do this imitation of and say, our music minister is God. And his version of back.
Yeah. Our music minister was God. Yeah. So you looked some things up on backmasking, right?
Yeah. There was some televangelist guy named Paul Crouch, and he brought the big allegation into the mainstream in 1982, which would have been right when we were in the middle of high school.
I was 4.
That's right. And it claimed that when it was played backwards, the part of Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven that said, the bustle in your hedgerow, that it said, here's to my sweet Satan, the one whose little path would make me sad, whose power is Satan. He will give those with him 666. There was a little tool shed where he made us suffer. Sad Satan.
Oh my God. So first of all, I didn't even understand bustle in your hedgerow. How am I going to understand?
You're so not British.
I know. So here's to my sweet Satan, whose power is in Satan. Well, I'm telling you, that's circular theory right there. Okay. Yeah, there were quite a few others, and I can't even remember. I think it was Queen had one, and backwards it's like, let's all smoke marijuana. Can you imagine listening to Bohemian Rhapsody backwards there? I mean, that's 7 minutes of stuff.
That's just like the most white person adult version of what backmasking would be. Let's all smoke marijuana. Yeah, all right.
That's all. Let's all smoke the pot.
The pot.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Can I tell you? Okay, so my favorite guy is Jeff Lynne, the guy who's behind Electric Light Orchestra. And his response when they accused him of this is to say, the accusation is scallop.
Well, now I have to look that up on Wikipedia.
It's bollocks backwards. British joke.
That guy, that Lynn Jeff is funny from OLE. Ole. That's right.
So we were warned to be wary.
And
backmasking.
Right. And even not backmasking, just all those I think that's when I first heard the word secular. And we were told to stay away from secular music. And of course, KISS, we all knew, stood for Knights in Satan's Service, and just tons of anything that people actually liked.
I was afraid of Led Zeppelin until I got to college. I was like, no, that's the ultimate scary bad one.
Oh, Black Sabbath and Judas Priest.
They just weren't my thing.
Oh, me either. But like the names of them, it was like, oh, look, Satan does have a hold of the music people.
I know, but Led Zeppelin, of course, was really good music.
Yeah. I don't know. Never listened.
Whatever. Oh, look, it says that you're going to tell people where to find videos of backmasking.
Oh, does it? So I will put in the show notes there's a place that I found on ultimateclassicrock.com, or as I like to call it, ultimateclassicrock.com.
Classy crock.
It has some videos and different things of backmasking and all the things that were really funny during that time. But you guys can listen to it there. But on the other end, we weren't allowed to listen to secular, but we definitely were supposed to listen to Christian music. And in the 80s, there was no better time for Christian music than then.
Really? The band that was like the hard rock band that people still say is really good was Stryper.
Yeah.
I don't know. They just weren't my thing.
No. And they're still around. And so Bonnie knows. In college, I dated this guy, and he played a certain instrument, and he was in a Christian band, which was hilarious. But they got. No,
they were good.
They were very good.
They were good.
And they were going to take Colorado Springs, wherever I don't know, for Christian music. I know, I was going to say the world by storm, but Colorado Springs is like the mecca of Christian companies, so I just made that up. But
yep, that's where Ted Haggard was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I went around to all the gigs and all this, and there was a guy that went to college with us who was so into Christian music and thought he was cool. So he got a pair of white corduroys.
No, wait, like white, were they white cords or jeans?
They could be jeans, but I don't know. I think I don't know.
But he
decorated them.
Yep.
Oh, did he? I didn't even know if it's magic marker. And he wrote like Stryper down it. And then as his love of Christian music grew, he wrote you name it. You got your Petra, you got your Resurrection Band, or Res Band, if you're in the know. And then the name of the group that I, quote, toured with. No, that my boyfriend was in, and we would go.
Did he write those on his pants?
Yeah.
Oh,
He ended up,
that's nice.
He added 2.
That's nice.
Yeah. And I mean, there's just this whole cult following for a lot of these people. And I don't know if you ever knew about Night of Joy. We grew up in Florida. Night of Joy was at Disney World, and it was just Christian bands. They closed down the park, and it would just be...
and no one wanted to go. I'm kidding.
Right. And it would just be... Well, I mean, that's the thing. It was such a community. Everyone...
There were enough Christian bands to warrant it being shut down, and they would have enough people to come.
Yes. In the 80s, there were so many. And there's still some existing festivals that go on that are just Christian bands now. But there were so many of them then. It was more of a newer thing, and people were spending a lot more money to buy the music because we didn't have streaming and all that I bet it supported that kind of situation. But I went to any concert there was, DeGarmo and Key, DC Talk, which is, they're sort of my neighbors here now where I live in Tennessee.
What does that stand for? DC?
Disney Christ? I don't know.
Disney.
They went to Liberty College.
Oh.
I think they did. So maybe they were near DC.
Okay.
I can't remember.
All right.
White Heart, Second Chapter of Acts. There were just all these groups. And that brings me to this.
Yeah.
So I was always told a million times that God is the God of blank. And you just get to put in anything positive. God is the God of love. He's the God of music. He's the God of creativity. Mm-hmm. And it got me to thinking, well, then how come all the Christian bands are the Christian version of a good secular band? You know what I mean? So any band that we had, if it was people rapping, it came out years after good rap music came out. And it was just this, facsimile.
Well, so here's my question. What exactly is the state of Christian rock these days? Because I don't know. I'm not involved in that. Is there a Christian version of T-Pain and like an auto-tune kind of guy?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm positive. Yeah, plenty of that. That's the thing. Where I live now is the mecca of Christian music. In the neighborhood I live in, there's a lot of big Christian artists here, but there's just, you name it, the Christian Sarah McLachlan, we got it. This was back in the 80s and 90s.
The Christian Ariana Grande, Ariana, like, be humble. Ariana medium.
It's like all the voices and the kind of music, but then they just put Christian words to it. And I'm like, if he's the God of creativity, why aren't they leading the way with all the innovation? They've definitely got the the money backing now. So if they have the originality, they can come up with it first and be like, oh, yeah.
But Amy Grant at least bled over into not necessarily Christian, but not
mainstream.
Yeah, mainstream.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I saw her last year around here, and it's weird to see people age because you keep forgetting you do, and then you see someone you thought was great in high school, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. They, they're not in the limelight as much anymore, but
I don't age.
I know. That's what's so unique about us.
Don't be silly.
If God wants to be the God of creativity, he should have us not age, and I would be on board.
So people, feel free to send us any kind of responses with what the state of Christian rock is these days.
And anything that you find funny, interesting that happened to you at a Christian concert, or
Ooh.
I know, or that went on regarding Christian music, we love to hear. I do know of, I was in New York at a bar once and got talking to these gay guys next to me, and one had been in a pretty successful Christian band. Of course, not anymore, but we know that there are plenty of things that have gone on with Christian bands that have taken them down or been scandals, but we want to hear some funny things that you guys would only know about.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I want to hear what other people have had as experiences that are like ours.
Oh, I hope someone's been in a Christian band.
Oh, that'd be good. Yep.
Yeah. And you can go to, I do want to hear that. You can go to our website at www.deconversiontherapypodcast.com. And there's a place where you can submit your stories. It even gives you a guideline, a little example of how to do it. And we'll read it on air.
Submit your shaws here.
That's what we're going to start calling them. Yep. And
rate us, review us.
Rate, find us, submit.
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. Did we say that?
Yes.
And podcatchers, fake word.
That's right. Look up everything that says Deconversion Therapy, and you will find us. And we can't wait to hear from everybody.
I guess that's it. Thanks.
Yep. Bless you. Bye.
Bye.